Hey guys, happy Saturday. It's me, Victor, here. I'm going to go over the past week of which trades I went over and over all of the game plan going forward. I know I said I wasn't going to do weekly recaps anymore, but this past week was great, so I'm just going to go over the few trades which I took. Only 4 trades overall this past week. Again, the goal is just to promote transparency within every video lesson. I hope you learned something from it. Again, I'm not profitable yet. I'm not consistent. That's the goal of me doing these, is just helping, because whenever I do these video lessons, it helps me, number one, recognize where I'm doing wrong, and that's the first step in becoming a great trader, in my opinion, is taking full responsibility of the outcome of your trades, and I said this in a previous recap, titled How I Lost $1,400 in the Stock Market. It was my fault, I was not focused. I was trading too large, and this past week I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I narrowed my focus down to the OTC markets, and I focused on plays and setups that suited me as a trader. And I'm going to keep saying this in every recap, okay? What works for me may not work for you. That is what makes this game unique. Alright, and I always get the question, how do I find the hot stocks? Well, it's simple, guys and gals. Focus on big percent gainers. You don't have to do anything special. Just focus on big percent gainers, and again, narrow down the focus on what suits you as a trader. Okay, you don't have to trade everything that's on scan. Okay, you don't have to trade every day, and I'll go over the trades which I took this past week. But first, let me just go over where I'm at right now. Last week in the video, I was down roughly $1,500, right? And this past week has been great overall. Yes, I'm still down, right? But I did have a great week. I managed to get back to $800 negative. But overall, this past week, really since, we'll just go for the week. Again, I'm trading with a small account, right? Maybe saying, wow, Victor, you made $400. But understand, I have roughly $1,500 in my account, right? So I grew my account, ideally, by 20% each account. So, that's doing great in my opinion. Really since the last week of August, I've been doing well. Really since last Thursday, if you want to say so. Last Thursday, I've been on a roll. But again, taking it trade by trade, right? As I said, and all these trades are within the OTC land, okay? And I'll go over the trades which I took this past week. But as I said in the previous recap, I am going to primarily focus on the OTC market. Again, that's my opinion, primarily because they are more predictable, and the moves and the action is more smooth. That's my opinion again. Okay, I'm not saying just to focus on that. No, you'd always want to expand your horizon, but in my opinion, the OTC markets is where I can find consistency. And like I said in the last recap, the reason why I was down roughly $1,500 was because I was trying everything. I was trying to go long Nasdaqs, trying to short that, trying to buy dip buys, okay? And that's not gonna, I may get lucky, but again, luck runs out, right? So that's the goal, just to focus on OTCs and narrow my focus. But let me go over the one stock which I was long last Sunday, Ali. That one was a great profit, roughly of $213. But as you can see, I did leave a lot on the table, okay? I use Profitly. All of my trades, by the way, are verified by Profitly, okay? But I use this primarily just to track my statistics. Profitly is where you see all my trades, right? If we go over here, where's that statistics? And again, Profitly shows me down roughly 740, but as you can see in Trader View, it's roughly about $80 off. I'm down, as you can see, total, $804. So it's close, but I mean not really average, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. But again, all my trades are on Profitly, and Ali was a great profit. Of course, commissions took a big chunk out of that. I mean, it's part of the game, right? I left a lot on the table, as you can see here, and that's one thing about trading, right? You're gonna leave a lot on the table, but locking in gains is important, because yes, if I would have held, the reason if I likely would not have held the entire way. There's no way in hell I would have held the entire move up, because Ali had a major parabolic move all the way to high of 55. There's no way. I was at work that day, and the reason why I said in the recap last Sunday that I was long was, number one, it was a first Green Day OTC. I mean, you can't really see it now because the chart's messed up, but it was a first Green Day OTC, and you have to go back longer than that. First Green Day OTC, and I got long 50k, right? And I sold right at the open. I said, get me out, and the reason why I sold is, number one, I was at work. Okay, I told you that I go to work at 8 o'clock Central Time. Okay, and the market opens at 8:30 Central Time. So number one, I was late to work, yes, but I sold right at the gap up. I sold. Yes, I could have waited, Victor, right? But no big deal. Okay, I'm not going to be upset. I mean, yes, the time to buy was, I mean, of course, hindsight's 2020, but this is a beautiful ABCD pattern right here. I mean, congrats to anyone who was long this one stock. Classic ABCD, got the A, got the B, and the C and the D, right? But congrats to everyone who did get long that. Many of them did. But that was a great trade of roughly $213. Well, $186 after you take away commissions, right? And here's a great thing. I was only risking $30, right? I was only risking $30 on this trade, meaning that if the trade was to go against me, I will lose roughly $30. And great risk reward, great R on this trade overall. So no big deal. I mean, yes, perfect entry, best exit P&L would have been roughly $1,500. It says, right? Was that? Yeah, best exit P&L would have been roughly, well, $1,200. But no big deal, right? I mean, there always will be another play. But again, context, as I said, first Green Day, Friday, and going for the gap up, which I did lock in on that one. After that, really, ATDS. This one was my one loss of the week, and it's really right at that $50 risk limit, as I said in the last recap, because I have been troubling with sizing. So I told myself that I was not gonna, well, again, you can't really predict, I was going to focus on not having a loss greater than $50. And yes, after commissions, this was a loss greater, but I'm fine with it. It's my fault. Number one, it was a first Green Day, but primarily I was chasing, as you can see here. Not a great buy at all. Buying a spike after a breakout, that's not great. I recognized it, I gave it time, but when I recognized I was wrong, I got out. And yes, I took a small loss, as I mentioned, but that's trading. Okay, you're gonna, as I said, your goal is to minimize your losses and maximize your gains. So I simply cut that loss. And rule of thumb, guys, don't buy a stock, and don't buy a stock. If a stock's spiking towards a breakout, from now on, I'm really not gonna buy it going long, because if it's a straight up spike like you see here, I'm gonna wait for a pullback and wait to get in on a dip, because that has higher odds of success in my opinion. Because as you can see here, right, buying the high day spike, I bought dead top, and that's where you should be selling, right? And as you can see, I sold, moved on onto that one, but that was a small loss on that one. Paso was another great one overall. This one was a classic first Green Day again on OTC. This one I did not hold overnight, simply because, again, of the factor that I was going to be one at work. And once more, the OTC market trades at 8:30, so the market's open at 8:30. Again, we have meetings at a certain time at work. If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, I don't care, but we're not allowed to have our phones at work. And quite frankly, when I see that I'm up on a position, I'm going to take it, and that was what happened on Paso. Overall, great. They had news, major volume, right? It is kind of disappointing that this did not gap up, but it is what it is. I took my gain before market close. I guess we have to go out wider. Here we go. Yeah, so I got long right before it broke out. I kind of, I guess, anticipated this to break out. I guess this looks better right here. 1 minute chart. And I gave it time. As you can see, you may be wondering, you have to have patience to hold. This is probably the longest stock that I held. I was holding the stock for 1 hour, right? And it was very, very choppy. As you can see, it had a spike towards roughly 10 cents, 10.5 cents, and I didn't sell. And the reason for that is because I felt like, again, I was thinking big picture. I was thinking that this had room to run. So I gave it time. Yes, I could have been wrong. Yes, this could have faded. But again, as I always say, you always want to go into a stock with a, first off, you want to have a risk, okay? Like you walking into a house, always know your exit door. And that's, my risk level was 0.09. So as you can see, my risk level was never breached. So there's really no point in me getting out of the stock. And that's one of the things I'm working on, is being patient as long as my risk level holds, because there's no reason to be afraid if the stock is choppy. Number one, it was consolidating, so that was even more bullish in my opinion, leading into the last really 10 minutes of the close. And that's really whenever we had a major spike. I mean, I do believe my Tim Sykes went long, so that kind of helped overall, and that's what led me to sell. I just locked in profits, because again, always suit trading around your schedule. As I mentioned, I wasn't going to be in front of the screen the next day, so I told myself just lock in the gains, and it paid off because the next day it gapped down. So it was a great profit of roughly $207, but after commissions, $191. Again, risking $50, so it was a great risk reward trade on that one. And yes, a perfect exit P&L was $275, but no big deal. Okay, you're not going to be perfect on trade. Do not try to be perfect in trading. Okay, just try to take the meat of the move, and that's what I did here. Okay, but again, first Green Day OTC breakout. I guess there we go. It's a better picture. I bought right at the breakout. Right at the breakout. But this is another one, ABCD pattern, big picture, right? Nice cup and handle. But overall, that was a great one as well. And on Friday, it was the same type of play, VNMT, first Green Day OTC runner. This one's still going to be on watch for next week because they have news, which they are kind of foreshadowing. But this was a beautiful multi-day breakout overall, and I did get long. Right as it broke out, I was trying to get long. This stock was very tough to get executed, but I got long roughly 3,000 shares right into this push past the high day break right here. And as you can see here, again, I was extremely patient. As you can see, I was trying to get 4,000 shares, but I only got to fill 3,000, so no big deal. I did get decent size that I wanted. Again, small account, don't judge me. But overall, you may be saying, Victor, how come you didn't sell into here? I tried to sell into here, but it was so damn tough to get filled, and I'm not going to chase weakness, so I was patient. Again, it was consolidating, so whenever I saw this have a nice respike, I sold, right? And yes, it did end up having a nice ramp back up, but no big deal, because I locked in gains of roughly $234, and after commissions, $223. And risk was $60 on this trade, so great risk reward on that part. Yes, again, as you can see here, I left roughly about 30% on the table, but no big deal, right? Locked in my gains, and that is that on that one. First Green Day OTC multi-day breakout. I am kind of shocked that this did not close stronger. But one thing that I have noticed, that with these OTCs, if they do consolidate, I mean, this did close well above the breakout point. I mean, this is going to be one to watch for next week, all right? And if it does break that 50-cent mark, it is going to be a buy with news, okay? Again, don't take that as advice, but if you watch to level 2, there was major, the ask was massive. On the level 2, there was wall of sellers at 50 cents holding this down. So with news and volume, I do believe this can go higher. and I will watch it for sure. Even though I'll be at work, I'm going to have my phone on me at all times, because I do believe this is going to be setting up for something nice, because they are foreshadowing. There's no news right now, but on Twitter there's news of they're hinting towards something towards next week. All right, but those are my trades really from this past week. I'm kind of in the again past week roughly 390, nothing huge, but again, I'm trying to go back to the state of consistency, and I've had a nice rebound so far. But the goal of next week is just to keep the same thing, and I don't really get to control how often I trade, because again, as I always say, that I'm not in control of how many trades I have next week, okay? Because I really don't know my schedule at work. All right. I mean, if you don't believe me, I could just show you, okay? I know you don't believe me, but let me see. When I work, it's 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, but my schedule's not guaranteed, like if I finish my task before I go home, if I finish the task before my hours, or I get to go home, so it just depends. Friday I had off because I didn't have to go to work, but again, it's not what I want, but everything's temporary in life, but yeah, next week just focus again on over-the-counter stocks, okay? And again, I'm not saying that you can't trade listed stocks, okay? Yes, you can, but again, always go back to where I began. Always just narrow your focus, okay? Don't try to do everything at once. Just because someone else is trading Tesla, just because someone's trading Apple, doesn't mean you have to, okay? Trade your personality. And how do you find that? It takes time, okay? It takes losing, okay? I lost, who knows what's going to happen next week, I don't know, but I lost roughly $1,500, and I recognized what I was doing wrong, and it took me that much to lose to recognize that, right? And that's my main focus going forward, is just a focus on over-the-counter stocks and buying multi-day breakouts, over-the-counter stocks with news and volume. And I'll do it over and over again, and you win some and you lose some. But again, it's very important to minimize your losses and maximize your wins, and theoretically it's impossible for your account not to grow. But that's really it for the game plan for next week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Again, take it day by day, trade by trade. Of course, Monday we have off, so happy Labor Day. Next week will be a short week, so we'll see how the markets go. But again, every day you don't have to trade. Just always know why you enter a stock. That's the most important lesson here. Always know why, and most importantly, always know why you lose money and win money. All right, and track statistics, track your trading, because success leaves clues. All right, and every day is a mere reflection of your level of development as a trader. So that is that. But other than that, leave comments below if you have any questions. Other than that, I'll see you next time if I do have any trades. But good luck trading.